part that I've been the most excited about, to get the full Porterbuilt stuff on here, because then we can do the Ford 9-inch, get the big wheels on here, and then we'll get to see what the actual final frame configuration is going to look like on this truck. So I'm super excited, and we've got all the Porterbuilt stuff right here. I'll break it down kind of step by step as I begin to install this stuff. But the first step is we have to remove the rear body mounts there and then cut the frame an inch back from the center of the rear body mount. And if you're doing a back half by Porterbuilt, then they have some great instructions that are included with this. So you just print them off, or I've got them pulled up on my laptop over there. I'm gonna follow those. It's pretty straightforward. Cut out the middle section, cut off the frame, slide your frame rails on there, get those just kind of hand tight bolted in, then install the bridge, Watts link, rear end, all that kind of stuff bolted together, and then we have a full back half. Once I have the back half and the wheels and stuff on there, then we can go ahead and lay this truck on the frame, sit back and just look at it and get excited. So I hung this new Hyper light on the back of my pegboard right here. Got those CK truck magazines up on the shelf, got it looking good. Check it out. Boom. Lit up. Simple C10 Hyper light with the Lucky logo on it, looking cool. Man, this is kind of the finishing touch on this cabinet system back here. It's functional, but it looks good too. But shout out to Hyperlight. Guys, if y'all want one of these made, they can make a bunch of different options. I just sent them the image and they customized it for me. There was the image before, just a simple C10 with the Lucky image on there. And this thing can light up. This is actually dim. This thing is super bright. Like, I keep it turned down all the way, but shout out to them. It looks really good with the Simple C10 kind of logo over there, but very happy with that. Gave me just a little bit of light in that area that I didn't have much light either. So it looks cool, but it also functions really well. So shout out to them. Check them out, Hyperlight on Instagram. I'll tag them in the description. Before I jump in the video, I did want to say all this Porterbuilt stuff I have available on the website, simpleC10.co. If you're wondering the differences in some of the VeloWorks stuff or the do-it-yourself slam kits and things, the cupping your lowers, if you want to know the difference between a drop member and some of the budget things, you can go back and watch some of the other videos that I've already made on this build, or feel free to reach out. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram. My phone number is all on the website, so just holler at me. I don't mind a bit to explain the differences and discuss your build. That is what I love to do, is help people with their build. So feel free to contact me anytime. Seriously, when I say that, I mean it. You can ask a lot of the people that have called or text me, emailed me. I get back with them, and I love to help out with this. But now stuff is gonna get fun. One of the things that I've been meaning to get for a long time is a plasma cutter. So instead of cutting this frame up with just an angle grinder and cutting through it that way, we're gonna try this out. I do have some cutoff wheels ready if this doesn't work, but this is an Art Captain plasma cutter. It's like 250 bucks that I bought online. And you do have to have a decent sized compressor to make this work. I didn't even realize with plasmas that they run off of compressed air. We're gonna get this all pulled out of the box, plugged in, and we're gonna see what we got going on. Let's look at the back of this. We got the power plug in here. It does come with an adapter, and we will see if it will reach. I do have this type of plug there as well, so I may not need the adapter. All right, we're gonna give this little bad boy a try. The settings on here are the operation mode. We're gonna do 2T. It's got 2T and 4T. That means the 2T is you pull the trigger and it's responsive. 4T means you press it once, it cuts, and then you press it again to turn it off. And I've got 220 ran to it. You can adjust your amps right here. I'm gonna just try it out at 40 right there. That's in some of the videos I saw that. So we'll try the 40. The air pressure, I adjusted it to 70. It said 60 to 80 is kind of the range. And I've got a ground on there, and I'm gonna start out just trying to cut through the painted frame first. They said you'd get better results if it wasn't painted, but I'm just curious if it will cut through it with it being painted first. I'm not sure how much sparks and stuff this is gonna lay down. I might have to go put some pants on, which I have shorts on. Don't freak out. I do have clothing on. I'm gonna put on my welding helmet and gloves because I definitely don't want to get burnt. Slice through it like butter. Got it smoked out in here. I don't know if you can see the smoke. It's smoky, but it got it cut. I wanted to leave the side frame cuts. I probably will cut those with an angle grinder to get a nice smooth cut. I haven't got a steady hand with the plasma yet. I started to get used to it there at the end, but it will cut through it, no issues. So awesome. I got to get a couple more jack stands to kind of get the frame leveled out where I want it so it doesn't fall when I cut it. We'll take off the body mounts. We'll get this back half cut off. All right, day 2 of this Porterbuilt back half. First day was pretty much just cutting the frame. I grinded it down, sanded it, painted it, got it ready to install this back half on here. So that part was pretty easy actually. I used the plasma cutter to cut out the X frame in the middle, ground it down, and then you measure an inch back from the center of the rear body mount, and then just make a nice little cut right there. Everything went off. Now we slide on the sides. You can't assemble the whole back and slide it on because on the 60 to 62, the frame angles outward. So it won't just slide straight on like a 63 to 72. And we'll mount up one side. I'll kind of hold it up, get the bolt started, leave everything kind of loose. That way I can square it up with a level, and then we will bolt it down tightly, and then I'll drill out all the other holes under the frame, on top of the frame, and begin to bolt the back half together. Here's the face of one happy dude. I'm loving this frame. It's coming together. So excited. It's like Christmas Day right here. So let me catch you guys up with what all we got going on right now, because there's more to come. Here's some more parts we got left. We got the rear end. This is the raised bed floor brackets, the dual battery brackets, the shock brackets, the 4-link. So we put on the back half right here, then we put in the cross members, upper, those two right here, and the fuel tank will go back there. And the frame stiffener, which is right here, you drilled holes, bolted that in. Transmission mount is adjustable back and forth. There's holes in the cross member. The carrier bearing, mount right there. You can see that there's exhaust holes and everything, so we'll run the exhaust all through the middle. Shock holes here, mounts in the front for the front of the 9-inch. I mounted the 4-link front brackets right there. Now it's time to get this Ford 9-inch rear end. You can see there's already brackets welded to it. I got Porterbuilt to weld up the Watts link, the 4-link brackets, and get it all ready so I can just install it into the truck. After we get the rear end set in there, bolted up with the Watts link and everything, then I'm gonna put the gears in there and the axles. I'll do that afterwards. If I put the gear and everything, the third member in that, then it's gonna be super heavy for me to get over and get everything bolted in. So I'm gonna do that first because, man, the goal today, I would love to get that rear end in there, get the gears in there with the axles, and be able to put the wheels on the front and back. And for the bags in the back, typically you would do Firestone 9000s back here, but those work well, but those were designed to be a helper bag instead of an actual over the axle bag. Like I said, they work really good, but Universal Air has reached out to me and they're gonna send me a set of their U9000s, and they're basically their design of the Firestones, but they have an internal bump stop. They're designed for the weight and for everything that we have going on here. They're going to be super strong. They have billet upper and lower brackets. I just have to show you when they get here. They look awesome. But once those get here, I can mount the bags in there onto the rear end. But that's what it's looking like so far. It's come together. I've been on it for about 5 hours so far. You know, just going through and drilling the holes and mounting everything up and making it look really good. Just got the rear end kind of set in there. That's what it looks like. Kind of get an idea of how it's going to be set up. So the instructions give us the links, how long to make the 4-link to start out and how long to make each Watts link. So that's what I'm going to do now. Hook up the Watts link and the 4-link, get those connected, and that's what connects the rear end to the actual frame. Then it'll kind of be in there solid. Then we can start looking at the other stuff. So we're getting ready for the 4-link here. It comes with the bushings, the hardware. We've got these nuts and the little fittings, to grease fittings, and all the hardware to install it onto the truck. And also we've got the 4-link bushing crush tubes right here. So got them all to length. Now we just push in the center tubes. As you can see here, pretty much the whole frame is assembled. It's looking really good. The Porterbuilt drop member, we've got the frame stiffener, the 4-link, the whole back half from here back. And I have a Ford 9-inch rear end, and that is from Speedway, and it has the Speedway differential as well. It is a 380 gear. And next we've got this Dutchman axles we're going to put in there. I have the third member. Third member is what has your gears, and it bolts into the front here. I've got that outside. I had to paint it black so it wouldn't rust on the facing of it. So now we're going to just grab some of this Permatex black right here, gasket maker, put some of that on there, just a little bit, then put our paper gasket, and then another layer of that, and then put on the third member and bolt it in. Now, if you go online and you watch videos of, hey, how are you supposed to install the third member, you're going to get a million different ways to do it. Some people don't use a gasket. They just use the gasket maker, black RTV or the gray stuff or whatever. Some people only use a gasket that has kind of the steel or different kind of lube blocker. There's a lot of different brands of that. But I'm going to go what's worked well for me and my friends, the tried and true. And it's on the Curry. If you go on their website, watch their videos, they put a layer of RTV, then they put the paper gasket, and then another layer of RTV, and then put the differential on. So that's what I'm going to do. If you don't want to do it that way, if you know a better way, go for it. That's what I'm doing. That's what's worked the best for us. But don't at me in the comments saying that's not how you do it. There's lots of different ways to do it. And we all have our little tricks and the things that's worked best for us. But the good thing is, if it leaks, I will tell you and I'll say, hey, I tried this, it leaked, didn't work well, I'm going to try something next time. But if it's locked in and it doesn't leak, guess what? I'm going to say, that's how I did it. It's worked again. It's awesome. Go for it. So let's go ahead and get the third member, lay down our RTV and the gasket. Let's get that in there, and then we can work on getting the axles in the truck. I'm going to show you how to do the Wilwood rear disc brake conversion on this. It's got a parking brake and then the disc brakes on the back. And once we get that on there, we're going to finish this video up by installing some of these Detroit steel wheel ambassadors. I got them powder coated at Tennessee Powder Coating. They're a matte bronze, and I've got a special hubcap that I'm going to put on there too, and it's going to look awesome. So I'm excited about that. Then we're really going to get to see what this frame looks like with the big wheels on it sitting on the ground, and I can start bolting on some of this other stuff. I've got a fuel tank, I've got the raised bed floor brackets, the battery brackets, and we'll button up all the stuff I have laying around here, get it off the floor because I need room to get on to this 5.3 LS block and make it look all retro and cool. And that's what's coming up. Let's go grab this third member. We got a third member. Looking good. Man, that looks awesome. Torqued them all down. It's time to install these axles, and we're going to start out with some of these T-bolts. These T-bolts are just going to slide in through the back side right here. And all this does is allows you to tighten it from the front without it spinning on the back. They don't require you to have any kind of socket or wrench on the back side. Now we're going to install the Wilwood rear disc brake kit. We want to slide this on first because you can't put this on after you get the axle in there. So we're going to use those T-bolts to slide them in here. On these, there is a L and an R for left and right, and that's like you're sitting in the vehicle. So this is going to be on the left side. You'll know because the front of this is how your parking brake connects, and it pulls this to have parking brake. So it's going to go on just like this. You're going to slide it over. Just like that right there. And now from here, we slide in the axle. Here we're just going to take the axle. We're going to slide it through the tube right here. Just kind of drag it on the inside till we get it, till you feel it stop. Then we have to kind of angle up and get the splines aligned. You may have to twist it to get everything aligned. Angle it up just a little bit. Kind of have to finesse it. There we go. This is my first time doing this, so it's all new to me as well. So we want to align. On the inside, you have a retainer bracket, and that's what's going to bolt everything together. On this Dutchman, it came with a aftermarket plate that fits the Wilwood brakes. If you don't have a retainer plate on yours, or if it's the flat style, Wilwood does send you some of these brackets, and you just slide this in. You can see there's a little groove right here. You put that toward the inside with the open spot toward the top. So we'd slide this in and bolt it in. I got in touch with Dutchman, and they said their brackets that come pre-installed are correct for the Wilwood brake. So we don't have to use this, but just an FYI. And now you may be wondering, well, how do you get the bolts on there? That's where there's this access hole on the back side right here. That's how you get the nuts on there. So I like to just get them hand tight, at least get them all started. So next we're going to install the actual rotors here, and depending on what kit you get, Wilwood sends these little centering pins. So this one is actually made for these style brakes, but if you have a smaller bore in the center, then you can use this style and it will make it a larger bore to center your brakes. But these should just mount directly up. So these brakes here are 2-piston, as you can see in here, and this is kind of their basic rear brake conversion kit. These are kind of like a D52 brake, like I did on Lucky on the front of it. So we're going to slide in our brake pads and then just put these on here and bolt them in the same way that GM front brakes are. The goal for today was to get the third member, the Wilwood disc brakes, get all the brakes and everything done, and put the wheels on. Put the Detroit steel wheels on here, and just got that done. I'm going to use some of the Sweet Patina Happy Ending detail wipe. I'm going to spray this thing down, wipe it down. This frame is almost complete. There's still a few parts, the raised bed floor brackets, the Optima battery brackets for the side, just some fine tuning, but I'm pumped to get these wheels on here and get this frame done. Smart idea. This setup calls for an Optima D3478. You can go with the red or the yellow, doesn't really matter. Nothing to it. I wanted to go ahead and get the batteries mounted in there. That way I could start running lines, because I want to get the fuel tank in there and then run my line to the frame and figure out kind of how I want to run all the lines. Because with both batteries back here, I need to run a power that's going to go along the frame and then come up through the cab, because I want to mount all my electrical, like the LS computer, all that underneath the seat here. I'm gonna probably map out a piece of metal and put riv nuts in it and bolt all the relays and all the kind of stuff underneath the seat to keep it clean. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Reminder that all the parts that I talk about on the video is available on the website, simpleC10.co. That's how you support me into making more of these videos. I know I've kind of switched gears. We're done with the budget portion, and I hopped onto the Porterbuilt and got most of that knocked out in one episode as far as the back half and everything. But we're ready to hop on to a lot more cool stuff on this truck. So don't lose. I hope I don't lose you with the fancy frame, because we're going to do an awesome do-it-yourself classic style LS. I'm going to get some of the weld-on panels from GMSS, and we're going to shade this firewall with some of those panels, welding them in, making them look really awesome. First time that I've done that on a video, and there's just a lot more to come, a lot of firsts. Getting a column for this, the first time really going this deep on the interior. I'm going to paint the whole inside of the truck, take out the windows. We're going to do some patch panels on the rockers and the cab corners, so you'll see all that. I mean, there's still a ton to do on this truck. Check out the checklist. So one of these steps was to mock up the air ride and fuel tank. I'm going to kind of mock that up or check it off right now. It depends on how the back half mounts up. If I can go ahead and mount my tank and everything, Simple C10 air ride kit, the 3M fuel tank, we can check that off. But I'm going to Cerakote the engine and all the engine parts. Cerakote sent me one of their starter kits. And then after the engine is painted, we're going to install the Aces Jackpot, the Delmo LS parts, the Holley front drive system that I've done on a couple. Then we've got the GMSS weld-on firewall panels, Porterbuilt hood hinges, rush repair on the cab, reassemble the body on the frame, and I'm going to focus on the interior once that happens. American Auto Wire, Dakota Digital Gauges, steering column. That's when we'll do the radiator and the inner fenders, the tilt bed, and the patina sauce. What are you most excited about with this Sunny build?
I can't wait to see it, what it really looks like.
Yeah, me too. That's what everybody wants to see, what that truck's really going to look like. And what kind of truck do you want after I'm done with this one?
Red hot.
Red hot. Oliver wants a C10 that's red. And what are you going to name it again?
Red hot.
Red hot. So, hey, if you've got a red C10 that you want to sell, maybe start sending me some of those Facebook. I still got to finish this truck, get the square body done, and then maybe we'll do red hot. What do you think about that, Oliver?
Yep.
Yep.